everybody and welcome to Fantastic Fun Folds. My name is Tatiana and I'm from Tatiana Creative Stamping Adventure and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Australia. I am a paper crafter lover and I have discovered card making and I love it so much because you can really say something special with sending a homemade card, and it doesn't have to be too fancy. It can be just, I'm thinking of you, and it really brightens the day, someone's day. And I know that because when I receive them, I am just overwhelmed with love and happiness. So hello, thanks for joining. You know that you're watching live when you see the red live there. Otherwise you are watching the recording, which is perfect. Hello, welcome. I've got lots of people saying hi. Monday nights, 8 p.m, which is right now, I do a live video series called Fantastic Fun Folds. Even though cards can be simple, because when you make them, they don't have to be the same as store-bought cards. And my series of videos is just sharing with you different options to make them something different and special. And today we're going to create a spinner card. I'm really excited. It's been a while since I've made one and I really want to do another one. So let's head to the craft desk and get started. Wonderful. As you can see, I have some of my cardstock ready and I have picked the stamp set, and I've just realized I didn't bring this up on my iPad so I can't see comments. Woot. Great. As you can see, I have received my new goodies in the mail. Last week I got my first order of new products from the 2020 to 2021 annual catalogue. And one of the new things I got was the Pretty Parasol stamp set. And I'm really excited to be using it, putting first ink to it, and I thought it would be fun to create a spinner card with this. I know that's totally weird, an umbrella spinner card, but hey, let's go with it. Oh, awesome, Kathy. Wonderful to hear. So we're going to use that one, and what's fabulous about this stamp set is that it coordinates with the umbrella builder punch. There, that's might be too sparkly, but basically we can cut out the umbrellas, so that's going to be super easy, no fussy cutting. And it also kind of coordinates with the other umbrella stamp under my umbrella. And what's really neat is that you can use that fill-in stamp with this one as well, and you can totally mix and match the sentiments, but we'll stick to this single stamp set. And before we can stamp, let's get the cardstock ready. Oh, I just realized I didn't write out the inches, but I can do this. I'll just get my cheat sheet. So I am using A4 cardstock and I've chosen Coastal Cabana. For those who are watching in North America, you will be using letter cardstock. And essentially what we're doing is cutting it in half. So this is at 10.5 centimeters. And for letter cardstock, that would be 4 1/4. And then we need to score this. I just dropped out the scoring blade and I'm scoring it at 14.8. In letter, that would be score at 5.5. And that is the card base. Nothing fancy about this card base. The fantastic and the fun bit comes in the spinner. And we also need a card front. So I'm going to take the other piece. Now you can also do this as a side folding note card, just cutting the opposite way and scoring the opposite way. But I love top folding cards because they're a bit different. Now we're going to cut this one at 14.3 centimeters. In inches, that would be at 5 1/4. This is to create the card front, and then at 10 centimeters. So we're taking off 1/2 centimeter, and that's 4 inches in. So you've still got a 1/4 of your A4 sheet left over essentially. that's all the cutting we need to do with the trimmer. And I've also got another piece of Whisper White for the inside, which is cut to the same size as this front piece, as you can see. Now, before we'll create the spinning, the umbrella, we need to die cut a hole out of our card front. So I'm going to do that now. I have chosen this die because when I basically looked at it like this, went that'll fit the little umbrella and the little arm as well. And I'm going to not center it completely. I'm going to try to center 1, 2, 3 sides and have that one a little bit bigger. So it is quite a wide opening. If you choose a smaller image to put in as your spinner, then choose a smaller hole aperture for this bit. So you do need to cut it out both from the card front and the card base, but I'll show you how to do that so that it's lined up perfectly. So firstly, die cut it out, and I'm quite happy with that positioning, so I'm not going to even bring out the grid paper. And you're left with this piece. You can use that on another project, which is fun. No, I didn't need to. Okay, so you don't need to take your die out. You can keep it in there, but it will kind of stay in there itself because the edge of the die, this particular die, the edge is right there, so it's not a big deal. Now I'm going to, before I fold this as I would normally, I'm going to line this card front bit up, and then I'm going to place that die back in. This is so that it die cuts in the exact same place. Now I've stuck it down to the card front that I've just created, but the ideal here is to adhere it to the bottom layer, because that's where we're having the cut to go through. Now if this doesn't make sense to you, you will understand in a second, so do bear with me. I'm going to run that through the die cutting machine once more. I do have the 2 layers there, but it's only going to cut through the bottom layer because the top layer already has it cut out. That's back, and now I can flip it back, make sure it's all there, which it is. And now, because I've got the washi tape, it's all sticking and holding together, which is perfect. So I've got now 2 bits that I can use on another project, and I now have my card base with a aperture. Ooh, want that piece, and I've got my card front with the exact same aperture, and that is where we're going to sandwich. So that's going to sit perfectly aligned, and then we're going to sandwich the spinner bit into there. So now I'm going to fold that along the score line and just burnish that fold. So if you've never seen a spinner card before, you're probably thinking, what is Tatiana going on about? But trust me, you're going to understand and you're going to love it. Put that to a side, and we're going to do some stamping now. I've got my Stamparatus foam mat because the stamp set is photopolymer and it does like it when you have, whoops, no, that's not the stamp set, just a little bit of foam underneath to soften the surface as you stamp. So I'm grabbing that little stamp as we already discussed. And we also need that bit. Now, can I be really tricky and line them up? Do I have... No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fun little trick. Where's the punch? I'm going to punch out. Or do I have a punch out? Aha! No, I'm not. Well, I have. I've punched out the umbrella builder punch. I had a total mind blank then. I've already punched that out. And now that's given me a little bit of a guide as to where to line up my stamps so that when I go to punch, I'm punching both out at the same time. So I stamp them both at once and then I can punch them both at once. So basically what I've done is I've lined them up into the punch holes and now I've lifted this up. I'm not just lifting up for the purpose of the video. I do lift it up to make sure it's all centered nicely in there. Then I place it back down carefully, grab my clear block and pick up. So now I know that that is going to punch perfectly both pieces at the same time. And what I do is I keep this in the case. Well, I did keep it in the other case. So I might create a second one and keep it in the case, or I'll keep these together. I haven't worked that far out, but basically don't throw that out, keep it. And that way you always have that template ready to go whenever you need. Now we can stamp. And I've chosen Mango Melody. Something sunshine and bright. And that reminds me, feel free to write your nominations for who you think should receive this card in the mail. I will send it on your behalf and they will receive it as a little bit of a Share Sunshine COVID project. So the inking wasn't even because my ink pad needs a bit of a refill, but I kind of like that. It's quite, I'm looking, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm looking for things that don't exist. I was looking for a lid. That doesn't exist. I'm just going to give my stamp a clean. And now we can punch. Cute new thing in the catalog is adhesive sheets. So these are double-sided adhesive sheets, and the idea is you'd use them with die cuts, but I thought it would be a perfect idea because we're going to be adhering these two envelopes to each other to create a sandwich. And awesome, Vicky, yours arrived today too. You're most welcome. So I'm going to add a little bit of a square of this to the back of one of the two umbrellas. You'll see why, you'll understand, it'll all come together. So there's the back of paper comes in 3 sections. So I'm just cutting one section and I've cut about the right amount and cut across. I should have perhaps pulled the backing off, and now it's going to be hard. I should have stuck it down to the backing and then cut it off, but that's okay. There we go. I'm only pulling one side off and we're going to put it behind one of our umbrellas. As so. And that means that we won't have to add any extra adhesive to stick these two umbrella halves together, which I thought would be pretty groovy. Now that's not fitting quite in because of the corner, so we can just trim that off. And it is best to use your punches on the table and then you line it up. Sorry, I'm going to flip that because what I like to do is when I'm lining, I slightly press the punch down, and that kind of gives a little bit of a grip, but it still allows me to wiggle the paper around. And then perfect. Oh, Vicky, I just got it that you're nominating Judy today because yours came from Judy as well. Now, where did our little... Oh, there it is. So we've got one, and then we repeat again. Trimming that off to make it easier to punch out. Did I say, this is Whisper White, by the way, just in case I didn't say. I could have stamped on Mango Melody as well, just for fun, but I went with white. Lining that up. I'm a bit silent when I'm doing the lining up. Thanks, Margaret, for your nomination too. And then I have two other umbrellas that I could, because it's a photopolymer stamp, you could actually just keep these cutouts and stamp, because you can see where you're stamping quite easily. Now, the magic. What we need is some clear thread. I picked this up at Spotlight. Here in Australia, Spotlight is like I wouldn't call it quite a crafting magazine. Crafting store. It's got fabric, it's got craft, it's got home linen, that kind of store. So I'm going to cut a piece off that. And so this clear thread I found in not the section where it sells all the threads for sewing. It's in the section, quilting section. So it's used for quilting, so you can't see it. They're also great for bats as Halloween. There we go. Umbrella bats at Halloween. Thanks, Judy. Good sharing of tips. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the little umbrella with the sticky back first, and we're going to remove that paper. And I've got it sticky side up. It keeps sticking to me. There, got it. And I'm going to align that clear thread down the center of it. And before you cover it, grab the umbrella handle and do the same. So if you don't have clear thread, you could use any color thread really. Let me just get this backing off and then I'll talk. There. You could use white because we're going to have white in that window, and that could work too. So it doesn't really matter, but I do like the clear thread. So I'm just moving it a little bit. I'm going to put that in. Come on, and now run that along the back of the umbrella. There we go. Now I'm just starting to think our other side is going to have to go with a white handle because I needed to reverse stamp that. I shall teach you how to reverse stamp. The top half is fine because it's absolutely symmetrical, but the other side of the umbrella goes that way, and we've stamped it this way. I've just remembered that fun feature. So you'll need the stamp apparatus for that. And got the foam mat. I've got a very used piece of grid paper. And what I'm going to do is take one of my... Is this on camera? No, it's not. Would be good if I did this on camera. So we're going to do some reverse stamping. And in fact, we're going to keep that. So I'm going to stamp directly on this mat. Because it's laminated, it will come off. And I'm going to take the umbrella handle, place it down wherever it goes, it doesn't really matter, and ink up that umbrella handle, stamp it right there. Now, I know you're thinking, she's crazy. What is she doing? Then I'm going to take that cutout and carefully, I'm looking for my magnet. I have so many people joining me tonight. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. I haven't been saying hello specifically to everybody because the names just go past so quickly. Okay, I have my magnet. I've stamped onto my laminated mat. And now I'm lining up my cutout. There, perfect. And now I'm going to place the magnet down. Going to ink that up one more time. And I'm doing some reverse stamping, Holly. So I've stamped onto here, and now I'm going to place my little cutout into the hole. And then I'm going to close that again. And the pressure of that should transfer the ink. Can we see that? It's transferred the ink. So now we've got the handle stamped in the correct direction. Before I do anything else, I should close the ink pad, clean up the stamparatus. You could also stamp on the silicone sheet, but I've just gone with what I had out. Just going to put that to the side. And now we can, so this has got sticky backed adhesive on the back, and we're lining that up to match. And now we're going to line up the umbrella. And adhere it down. That's okay. For those who are joining, do say hi. I will read all the highs later, but tonight we are creating a spinner card using this cute new umbrella set. So essentially what's going to happen is that this is going to sit there, and not essentially, we are actually going to put it down right now as well. So I've cut the clear thread a little bit bigger than what's necessary, and that's on purpose so that I can, so one, I'm just counting. I was counting the scallops there so that I would put it right in the center. So I've taped down the top of our clear thread to the top there, and now I'm pulling that across, and again we're going to tape it down. Oh, you're having a lunch break, how wonderful. That sounds so weird. It's evening here, my kiddos are in bed, and I get some mama crafting time. So that's the tear and tape, and I'm using that because it's nice and strong. It will hold the clear thread quite well. And then we're going to snip off the extra. As so. And now we're going to, and then that's going to hide all of that. But before we do that, I have no idea who Lauren is, but she is no admin. Patricia, ignore that. I'm really sorry about that. For those watching the recording, there's Someone has commented to Patricia saying that they don't care that she's on her lunch break. And I do. I do care. Thank you. Lauren, it's my favorite color and I love it and I don't care what you think. I'm just deciding, do we want to stamp some texture? I thought it might be fun to stamp this little one on the text to create a bit of a textured background. So I've got my Coastal Cabana ink. And what we're going to do is, again, use our mat. And I'm going to grab that. So I'm going to ink, stamp off, ink, stamp off. So we're going to create a subtle texture with the stamp, making sure you stamp off. So I'm stamping in Coastal Cabana. Oh, and I've stamped in full strength. Doesn't matter. We can do some full strengths here and there. Lauren, piss off. You go. You tell her, Judy. For those watching on YouTube, thanks for sticking around. And we have a bit of a troll watching online thinking she has the right to comment rudely. Over here because I did that one in full strength. I thought it'd be fun to do another one in full strength. Oh, well, I'm glad I'm making you laugh, Leslie. Oh, thank you, Sylvia. I couldn't do it from my iPad and I didn't want to stop the video. So we've just created a little bit of textured brown. Oh, hey, Helen. Hope you are well. And now we're going to add this to the front of the card. And it's very important to line up the eye openings. You have a good point, Helen. You're kinder than I am. Thank you to my loyal followers. You have made this experience a little bit less intense. So I'm peeling that, or taking off the backing. Now this time I did add the glue to the card base, and what I'm going to do is flip it open so that I can see the whole, that little bit better. And remember, the tear and tape is quite a strong adhesive, so as soon as that sticks down to that bit, it's not going to wiggle. So I'm trying to line up the other areas. Right, so basically we're starting to take shape of our spinner card, and I'm going to just twist that up a bit, and then when you keep it closed and flat, it just sits like a little pretty umbrella, and then when you open it up, it spins. So now we're going to decorate the inside. Whisper white, and I have a fun little idea for the inside. So I've added the Whisper white to the inside, and now I'm going to take my lead pencil, preferably the really thin one, which of course I can't find. And I'm just going to slightly outline where the umbrella is. We'll erase that afterwards. And now we are going to stamp the same umbrella on the inside of the card. Ink that up, lining it into that pencil marked area. I'm a little bit off, but that's okay because you still can't see it until you open the card. And the thing that I really wanted to add, which I thought would be really fun, is that if you notice on the stamp set that there's this little fringe you can put on underneath, and I thought that would be really cute to put on the inside of the card. So when the card is closed, you'll still see it, but when you open the card, it'll be on the inside, not on the spinner bit. And just giving that ink a moment to dry before I grab my eraser. I'm just using a lead pencil eraser, nothing special, and we do also need to stamp the handle again. I'll do the fringe first. Line that up, and being photopolymer, it's that easier, but I'm not directly over the stamp. Beautiful. And one more stamp. Where did we go? Where did I put? Ah, there it is. The handle, again in Mango Melody. Stamping right there. So we've got the little parasol on the inside of the card, as well as spinning on the front of the card. And oh, Lauren, I've got the perfect sentiment just for you. You make the day brighter. So let's stamp that on the inside of the card, shall we? I think that'll be perfect. And I'll go with Coastal Cabana, since you just loved that color. Bing, bang, boom. That's the first nice thing you've said all night. Well, Tanya, you're going to have to. I will be having an online class with this stamp set. Yet to design, because this is the first time I have been able to play. But so let's remember, you spin, spin, spin. And make sure when you do spin, you have it lined up. You can just see the little tassels underneath, but when someone opens the card, their little umbrella will spin and you make the day brighter. And we haven't stamped the envelope yet. So one last quick little stamping session. Oh, thank you, Holly. I just wanted to do something different for a spinner card, and I thought, ooh, I have new product which I really want to play with. So how can I combine the two? And I think we'll put the parasol on the front of the envelope. That's what I love about photopolymer is that you can realign and try to stamp again. And bing, bang, boom. Thanks, Margaret. And Sherry, and Deb, and Leslie, and Kathy, and most of all, thank you, Lauren. Shall we spin that one more time? Spinner cards are very, very fun. And you can basically not see the clear white. So this is where I was saying that you could use white thread because of the background being white. And then you open up and spin, spin, spin. So thank you so much for spending time with me. I enjoy having your company here. I will be back again. I'll be back again next Monday night with another episode of Fantastic Fun Folds. Everyone is welcome back except for Lauren. Thank you so much for watching, spending time with me, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.